Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and today, just as you know, these are being broadcasted live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and all those things. So if you want to attend live, we just had some crazy cool reunions right now, people in the chat. You never know, you might go on a chat, might know someone you haven't seen for a long time. But yeah, go ahead and follow the socials, just type in my name, and therefore you can attend live. But if not, you're getting this on the podcast, on the app, and so on. And once again, before we get into today's content of what makes dreams a reality, you can always go ahead and sign up for our virtual weekend seminar or for unlimited confidence. Okay, josephclough.info/event, 2 whole days of life-changing transformation where I can personally help you, guide you to make your dreams a reality and to get the confidence and the self-certainty to do what has to be done, what is right, what is good. Just wake up with self-certainty, like just lift the burden of any stress and worries when you wake up so you can approach the day with excitement, just like me, and I promise you, that's how I operate. But with that, other than going to josephclough.info/event to be able to attend for just a small amount compared to 2 whole days of transformation, there's also an opportunity to get the recordings if you can't make all the sessions that we're running. But yeah, go to josephclough.info/event to be able to attend. But in today's podcast episode, we're talking about, okay, what makes dreams a reality? So I was talking with one of my clients just this Monday, and an amazingly talented person, amazing in business. But of course, like everyone, we want to be able to upgrade our mind, get bigger and better results. And I was speaking about the term of what I call, and it may not sound like perfect for you, so I'm going to change it for you as well. But there's something that I've had, which I believe has made me a lot of abundance, a lot of health, a lot of happiness, and a lot of goals to be achieved. And I call that ferocious focus, okay? My client said fierce focus, which I absolutely love as well. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm tuned in, I'm ferocious focus, I'm gonna do what has to be done. Now, why is it important for you to have that ferocious focus or that fierce focus? Well, most of the time, we are not very focused. Most of the time, we are inundated with the news, inundated with social media, inundated with life things, work things, family things, all of those things, and it gets in our way of our attention. But I have noticed, on top of that, the one big reason as to why people do not get their dreams is because they are focused on too many things. Not only on the things which we shouldn't be focusing on, but then trying to go for lots of things, or 2 things, 3 things, 5 things. And when you do that, you split your energy. So when I began to analyze my most successful periods, when I began to analyze the clients that I wonderfully get to ask questions about, so I can, because I work with people who are very successful, who want to be able to let go of their issues, or people very, very driven, and ultimately I get to learn at the same time. I call it modeling success. And I notice that they have this one single focus. And I was like, oh my goodness, I do this too. Like if I have a money goal in terms of my business, because when I do that, I know I'm helping more people in the world. I can also pay it forward. I can invest in systems to support you and all those things. It came from times of ferocious focus or fierce focus or lasered focus. You fill in the blank, but put something before the focus to give it that extra bit of energy. When you are just lasered in to the one thing, and you focus on the one thing continuously, you will get your results in quick like time. It reminds me of the quote of, I think it was Bruce Lee, and I think he may have said, so there's 2 thinks there, so I'm not quite absolutely true, but he said something like, I don't fear the person who has practiced 1,000 techniques or kicks. I fear the person who has practiced the one kick or the one technique 1,000 times. Think about that for a moment. We're not focusing on doing all the things. That just expends your energy. That causes actually conflict. It creates confusion, that split of energy. But focusing on the one thing, your prime goal, will get you to the success. Each and every day you focus on what can I do today, the one thing which will get me to the one place I want to go. And I don't mind if it's a financial monthly goal, I don't mind if it's that promotion, I don't mind if it's a relationship goal, but one thing, focus on that. Focusing on the one thing with ferocious focus will do more than one thing. Number one, it gives you alignment, right? We're not split energy. We are just so focused on what we have to do whatever it takes to get to it. When you have that one thing, all your energy goes into it. Now, with that, there can be issues, not as much issues spreading your energy all over the place, but you have to be prepared that some things may fail, or not necessarily fail, but there may be some, what maybe we could say, some resistance. Let's say resistance in other areas of your life. Because if you're so focused on making that business goal or that promotion goal, then sometimes you will have to make some sacrifices over the other areas of your life. Let's just say career money goal, right? Well, what other categories of life do we have? Maybe it's our health. Maybe it's our relationships. Maybe it's our family. So sometimes we have to still have balance between those. How do we approach that? Well, if it's a family thing, a relationship thing, you talk, you communicate. You say, look, I need to put up a lot of my energy. I'm going to make up for that by doing X, Y, Z, or prioritizing some time, or making up the time, having achieved the goal. You've got to be able to manage those storms and seas, but it's pretty easy once you have the clarity, once you start to communicate. But you really, really want to be having that ferocious focus. That is what we want. We want to be able to go all in on the one thing that would change the everything. A parallel story to that is why I know my system works, is because rather doing what most people do, which is focusing on the symptoms of what they feel, like the anxiety, the worry, the doubt, the fears, the self-sabotage, and how it shows up in work, and how it shows up in our career, how it shows up in our body, how it shows up, how it affects our sleep. I'm like, no. We're not doing that. I'm gonna find the one thing that if we let go of together, we'll let go of the everything. We're gonna go to the root of the issue, which creates all the symptoms, and just let it go. In quick, powerful time. Within 8 weeks, we'll just let it go. 100% self-certainty, that's what we do. Because if we focus on all the many things, the symptoms, you will always remain stuck. You will always be in that conflicting idea because you're focusing on the anxiety, and then you're focusing, trying to mitigate that, let it go a little bit, and then suddenly out of the blue, another symptom pops up. It comes back. Or maybe the anxiety then comes back as you switch your focus onto the other symptom. It doesn't work that way. Same thing with ferocious focus. You've got to focus on the one thing which will get you to where you want to be. Now, by focusing on the one thing, I'm not saying you just got to do one thing. I'm saying that if you have a goal or a dream, you have something that you want to acquire in your life, you've got to have that ferocious or that fierce or that lasered focus on doing whatever it takes to get to it. It means giving up some things, and that's okay. And we've talked about, I think last time, like giving up things which do not give you as much value. So some things will give you value, but as much as value as getting the goal itself. Like if you were just totally liberated from every fear in your mind and body, if you were totally liberated about money blocks, if you're totally liberated about your identity, it's probably gonna be worth giving up some things that won't reach that level of liberation, right? So we can be at peace, but it's okay to let go of some things. We've talked about it before, where it could be some things like social media, limiting it or letting go of aspects or all of it. I would if I didn't run my business or part of my business on it. But there are other things we can give up to be able to live the life that we want. So when I wake up every single day, I'm focusing on not the 100 of things I could do. I'm focusing on the one thing that I can do today, which will have the biggest impact on everything else in my life. I'm going to focus on everything, or the one thing that will give me the freedom to achieve my desires, the freedom, the reception of all that I want in my life. So really don't focus on the many things. If you've got a health goal, focus on the health goal with ferocious focus. Make it a burning desire. A burning desire. You see, when you make it a burning desire, you are fueled. And that's why I like it like that for me personally, the ferocious focus, energy there. I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. I'm going all in 100% energy to do what has to be done. You see, when you go from that energy, that burning obsession, to get that goal, you are sending the signal not just to your unconscious mind, which is so important, saying, look, this is of why we're doing it. This is the immense value. This is the intensity of that burning desire that I want, because that has an effect on values. You see, values are the things which are important to you. Guess what runs values? Your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind runs those values. So if you start to put an emphasis, an energy, consciously at first, of the immense value for getting and achieving that goal, and you're just radiating, you're just like so energized that when you think about it, you're like, this is what I want. This is coming my way. I'm doing whatever it takes. I'm focusing on the one thing. Your unconscious mind listens. It starts to recognize that this is what you want. It will start to align itself to get to where you want to be. It will start to align itself in making the changes. Almost like you're telling your unconscious mind, this is what I want, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes, and it wakes up and goes, well, I'm going to support you. We're handing over it. You are the conscious goal setter. Your unconscious mind is the goal getter. So you need to send that signal to your unconscious mind. Make it that burning desire. Like, just want it like you've never wanted anything else. And if you want to get deeper in as to how to do that, focus on what it will give you. Like, for every one of my clients, I get them to give me 100 reasons why they want their goal. 100 reasons. And they find them. You think, well, I can't find you. They find them. They will find the 100 reasons, because they will then go, oh my goodness, this will transform my future. This will transform my relationship with my children by being an example. This will transform my financial security. This will give me the opportunity to go on vacation wherever I want. This will give me the freedom from aspects of my work so I can spend that. Like, you start to list out all these reasons, you then start to get supercharged by them. Then you're like, I want this. I'm willing to give up a bit of Netflix or YouTube or fill in the blank to get all these other things, because when you get the one thing, you get the everything, right? So in the meantime, there might be some sacrifice, there might be some giving up, but do you know what? The freedom that you receive, like that short-term sacrifice to live the life that you want, is worth it. And I can promise you that when I am in that ferocious focus, or that fierce focus, or the laser focus, things start showing up. The people start showing up. It's almost like I'm sending that signal to the universe that I'm ready to step into my dreams. I'm ready to welcome them. I'm ready to do whatever it takes. It's almost like you've set a new standard for yourself. You've set up a new value or a new boundary for yourself, a new goal that you're going, look, nothing less is acceptable. Nothing less than this goal is acceptable. Now, if you don't want to be so tightly onto one goal, you're like, Joseph, I want that career, I want that money. Let's just say I want 20 grand a month or 50 grand a month or 100 grand a month, but I don't want to stick just to one of them, because what if when I get the 50K, or maybe if I just saying 50, maybe I'm missing out on the 60K per month. Well, what we can add to that to supercharge it more is by saying, look, I want this goal. I'm ferociously focusing on this goal. I am sacrificing aspects for this goal. I am coming up with compromises to communicate effectively. I'm going all in on this one thing, this one thing, and then you go, I want this or something better. I'm going to say that again. When you think of that goal that you're ferociously focusing on, you're fiercely focusing on, you have that burning desire to get it because you know why you want it, the 100 or plus 100 reasons, you go, I want this or something better. That means you will be maybe unexpectedly surprised of a quicker way of getting there. You may be unexpectedly surprised by something better that you didn't know because you only think based on what you think you know. And guess what? Most of us don't know what we don't know because we don't know it, right? That makes sense, surely. Because we are just consciously aware of what we think is possible, but beyond all of that, beyond ourselves, there is so much more possibility because we are limiting ourselves. This is the nature of ourselves sometimes. We have limiting beliefs, limiting thoughts, we have these emotions. So by saying this or something better, you are open to receive more than you could imagine. But you are really just ferociously focused. You are turning up that desire. You are looking at that 100 reasons. You're looking at that dream of yours and you're going, I'm going all in. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. I'm going to work with the right person. I'm going to surround myself with the right person. I'm going to find the right system. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get me to where I want to be. That is what I'm after. And I promise you, life will never be the same again when this becomes a habit. When I get this turned on in my mind, trust me, opportunities just show up all the time. I'm just so in tune with my desire. I have that burning desire that I'm radiating. I'm like a beacon to the world. I'm like sending the signal out there. And I don't mind what we believe in there, but we are all energy, and how we show up energetically does transform, or at least the perception from other people's unconscious to see things differently. If your energy is low, we've all got into one of those rooms, right? When everyone's energy is low, you just feel that sense. Or maybe you're happy and then that person comes over to you and they have that low energy, you feel that energy. So when you are at that peak absolute state, in other words, a state of mind, a state of emotion, and you have that burning desire, you are like, this is mine, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, I'm radiating it ferociously, I'm practicing the one thing to get me there, or I'm just doing whatever it takes, 3 actions every day to lead me close to my goal. You are energetically aligned not only to the goal, but to the people, to the opportunity. You are welcoming the success. So please, please remember that if you are to get your goals and dreams, if you are to really be serious about this, and I think we have to have that serious conversation. You see, we don't want to be just staying where we are. We don't want to be like just treading in the water. And to be honest, when we're treading in the water, we are getting more fatigued. We're getting tired. We feel lost. We feel as actually we're going backwards. And I do prescribe to the idea that if we're not growing, we're dying. I do. I think like if we're just this stuck stillness, we're not engaging the brain. We're not engaging what we truly want out of our life. So I want us to make sure that we're always growing, we're always reaching for something, we're always extending our conscious, we're always going beyond our boundary. And the good news is, when you have that burning desire, that unwavering burning desire of being so tuned into what you want, you will be unstoppable, you will be unshakable, because that energy does what? It creates belief. Even if nothing's showing up, and it happens sometimes, right? We can feel that way. But ultimately, when we show up with that energy, it doesn't matter what's happening. When your mindset is right, the facts don't count. You will find the solution. Because most of the time, the facts that we tell ourselves are just wrong. They're the illusionary belief systems. They're the illusionary thoughts and stories that we tell ourselves. So by being totally focused in what we want, we will get to where we want to be. Be ferociously ferocious. I should have really chose a different name. I say differently in my head. I never get it wrong in my head. But ferocious focus is what we have to do. We've got to go all in and just be tuned in, tapped in, and deeply aligned to our desire by focusing on that one thing, and you will be unstoppable. Of course, make sure you get someone to help you there if you can. Surround yourself with people who will support you, because you don't want those energies getting in your way. And of course, if there is a way that I can personally help you do that, you can go ahead to josephclough.info/power. josephclough.info/power, and that means you can potentially apply by watching a masterclass, potentially apply to work with me in my team, my system, to let go of your issue within 8 weeks without having to talk about it for years, doing it in a quick, powerful way, a customized, tailored way, a hypnotic way to meet the issue where it lives, your unconscious mind. Imagine that, right? Like, you wake up 8 weeks from now and you're a whole different person. But I'd probably say even better than that, you are the person you were meant to be, born to be, the person that you were just waiting to become. That is what we're really after. So I want us to get into that mindset of just getting to where we want to be. Wherever you go ahead and do this by yourself, wherever you do it by going to josephclough.info/power, it is entirely up to you. Now, on top of that, if you wish, you can come ahead and let me get to the link. You can go to josephclough.info/event, and therefore you can go and sign up for the weekend virtual seminar. Imagine transforming in your own home, in your pajamas. How cool would that be? Just to tune in, let go of all the things, get the profound transformation by I'm actually taking things from my premium system, putting it into 1 week, and when you immerse yourself for a whole weekend with me, you will transform your life. Goals will be hit, you will just transform yourself to get to where you want to be. That is what we're after. So, once again, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Have the ferocious focus, have the intensity kind of going all into your goals and dreams, and you will go ahead and get them because you'll be on autopilot. Just getting your dreams on autopilot is the most wonderful thing I think is possible. But once again, go to josephclough.info/event, and I look forward to speaking to you on a future podcast. Many thanks and goodbye.